Alright guys, new notes. We're going to be talking about volume of cones. Volume of cones. So looking at this picture here, I have 3 cones and my first one is filled up. If I were to fill it into this cylinder, it doesn't fill it all the way. So can you figure out how much of my cones fill up my cylinder? You should have got it's 1/3. If your circle is exactly the same, so this part of your circle here is the exact same as this circle here, and the height is the exact same as this here, it's going to take 3 of your cones to fill up one cylinder. So you're going to take the same formula that we used before, but we're just going to divide it by 3. Pretty easy. You have your height. It's going to be straight. It has to be perpendicular with the base, so it does have to make that right angle here. You have your radius, which we know is coming out from the center of your circle out. The bottom part is our base, which is a circle. And this guy here is called your slant height. That's just like the edge of your cone. And it's denoted by a cursive L. So whenever you see that, it's talking about your slant height. So again, you're just going to use the same formula that you used for cylinder, but you're just going to divide it by 3. Again, we know that big B is going to be the area of your base, and in this case, my base happens to be a circle. So this is going to be pi r squared to figure out what that is. All right, so let's try one. They're already telling me what my base and my height is. That's exactly what I need. My volume is going to be equal to 1/3 big B times h. So let's just look at the big B here, which is going to be pi r squared. So I'm going to get 1/3 pi r squared times h. All right, well, my r here is 10, so I'm going to get 1/3 pi times 10 squared times my height of 24. I'm going to take 1/3 of 24, which is 8. So I'm going to get 8 pi times 10 squared is going to be 100, which is going to be 800 pi. And when you plug this into your calculator, you should get 2,513.3. One more like that. I have a diameter. It's asking how much ice cream would fit inside of this. So that's going to be our volume, and it just wants inside the cone. It doesn't want like the scoop on top or anything like that. Just inside the cone. They're telling me I have a diameter of 6 and that the height of my cone is going to be 10. So again, I'm going to get my volume is equal to 1/3 big B times h. So it's 1/3 pi r squared times h. 1/3 pi. My r here is not 6, it's just going to be 3. 3 squared times my height, and my height is 10. So I'm going to take 1/3 pi times 3 times 3 times 10. And 1/3 of 3 is just 1. So I'm really going to get 1 times pi, and 3 times 10 is 30, which is just 30 pi. So in your calculator, when you multiply this out, you should get 94.2. Next one. All right, so in this case here, I have my volume is equal to 1/3 big B times h, 1/3 pi r squared times h, 1/3 pi. My r here is 30 squared times h. Well, my h, I don't know, because remember, this guy right here is my slant height. It's not my height. I need to figure out what this is right here. But I know that my height has to be perpendicular to my base, which means I just made a right triangle. So I want to figure out the height here, which is going to be 30 squared plus h squared is equal to 50 squared. If you see that this is a triple, then great. We can see that our height here should come out to 40. If we don't see it's a triple, a 3, 4, 5 multiple of 10, then we have to do this all the way through. So I'm going to get 900 plus h squared is equal to 2,500, minusing 900 from both sides. H squared is equal to 1,600. Square root both of this, so h is equal to 40. All right, so now that we have that, we can take this 40 and plug it into our height here. So you can plug this straight into your calculator. 1/3 times 30, 1/3 times pi, 1/3 times pi times 30 times 30 times 40, and that should give you let's try one more like that. Again, I have my slant height, I have my radius, but I don't have my height. So I know this here is 90 degrees. I have 5 and 10. If you see this is a special right, great. If not, we're going to have to figure out what this is. So this is my height. I'm going to have my height squared plus 5 squared is equal to 10 squared. So h squared plus 25 is equal to 100. H squared is equal to 75, square root both sides. So I get h is equal to 75, is breaks up to be 25 and 3. 25 is perfect, so I get 5 rad 3. So my height is 5 rad 3. Volume, 1/3 big B times h. So 1/3 pi r squared times h. 1/3 pi, my r here is 5 squared, and my h comes out to be 5 rad 3. So straight into your calculator, I would do this guy first. Take the square root. I didn't do it here because I didn't want to have to round it here. So I'm going to do 5 rad 3 in your calculator. Take the square root of 3, whatever that is, times it by 5, times it by 25, times it by pi, and divide it all by 3. And when you do that, you should get a volume of 226.7. All right, and let's try one more where you have to work backwards. They are telling us we want to figure out what the radius is. That's what I'm looking for, the radius of a cone. I know that my volume is going to be equal to 454, and I have a height of 6. I want to figure out what my radius is. That I don't know. So my volume is equal to 1/3 big B times h. Volume is equal to 1/3 pi r squared times h. So I'm going to replace my volume with 454. That's equal to 1/3 pi. I don't know what my r is, but I do know that my h is 6. So 1/3 of 6 is 2. So really this is saying 454 is equal to 2 pi r squared. So divide both sides here by 2 pi. Careful when you plug this into your calculator. Some of you guys are making mistakes on this when you plug this in. Once you do this, you're going to get r squared is equal to something like 72.256, and it keeps on going. Keep it in your calculator, don't round it, and then you're going to take the square root of both sides. And when you do that, you get r to be approximately 8.5. All right, guys, let me know if you have any questions. Go ahead and text me, and I'll get back to you. Thanks.